If you're a music producer, this video just might save you literal years of struggle. Hear me out. So, have you ever wondered what made the music artist you look up to so successful? No, it's not the newest sample pack. And no, it's not the team of professional mixing engineers either. Something I was lacking for the longest time. Like, I've been making music for like 7 years now, and because of this one pitfall, I'd say my progress has been pretty much cut in half. I lost like 4 years because of it. If you don't want to waste years like I did, I think this video should help you out. But to talk about all that, we need to go way back. So let me tell you the story of how I started my journey with music production. It was back in 2017, 7 years ago. I was always very into music, all kinds of genres, from blues, to grunge, to dubstep. Like, literally, I loved them all. There were many artists I looked up to, and I kinda wanted to be like them. So one day I thought to myself, why not give this music making thing a shot? Can't be that hard, right? So I go onto Google, type in free music making software, and download my first DAW. I didn't even want to waste time watching tutorials. So as soon as I installed it, I started just messing around. So imagine me just randomly clicking buttons in the drum sequencer, and when I hit play, it felt like magic. Well, in reality it probably sounded like trash, but in the moment it felt magical, okay? Anyways, I was instantly hooked. From that point on, making music pretty much became my whole identity. It was all I did pretty much the entire day. But there was a problem. I had no plan at all. Like, I loved so many different genres that I was actually kind of lost as to which one I actually want to make myself. I was still in the very early stages of figuring things out, but I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. And I was learning many new things back then. Now, this lasted for quite a long while, actually, like a year or two. But then I realized I needed to change something. My music still wasn't where I wanted it to be, and actually, where did I want it to be? So, I was listening to a lot of funk at the time. Not the mainstream type of funk though, more like Young Vamp, Purple Posse, Sudier, you know, these types of funk. I'm just clarifying that so you know that I'm not like the other guys, so that you know I'm a cool hipster. Anyways, I wanted to replicate that type of sound, and this time around I was actually watching tutorials. I was getting sample packs, and I even switched my DAW to get an advantage. You could say things were looking up for me. Until they weren't. Fast forward a year later, and suddenly I don't like this anymore. I got tired of making funk beats and decided that I want to make something else. I wasn't sure what to make, so for a while I just kinda stopped making music. But then something changed. I went to my first proper music event. It was kind of like a festival. They were playing house and techno, and I had a lot of fun. And actually, I was so moved by that experience, like literally moved because I was moving. I was dancing, right? But it also moved me on a spiritual level. I realized that that's what I want my music to be. I want to make people feel what I felt. So me being the brave man that I am, I switched genres. Now I was making house music, but things were different this time. I already knew all the most important basics of making music, and I was much more dedicated this time around. So after hours upon hours of watching tutorials and a whole lot of trial and error, I actually ended up with something that I was quite happy with. I would honestly go as far as to say that around this time I developed somewhat of my unique style. I actually had a consistent sound. I started posting to Spotify, and eventually I even played my music live. That, by the way, was the best 2 hours of my life. That was an amazing experience. But yeah, there's a plot twist coming. Then I dropped it. I decided to leave that artist brand behind. Now, as to why I did it is a whole nother topic for an entirely different video, but what I'm getting at here is that I switched styles again and had to build my new artist brand and sound from the ground up. And like, I spared you a lot of the details in my story just so I don't ramble on too much, but I basically went from making experimental music to ambient house, then to melodic trap, then to funk, then back to melodic trap. I started making drum and bass, then to dub house, then to raw techno, then to acid techno, then to tech house, then to minimal house, and now I'm making groovy techno? What the f*** is wrong with me? Sure, over time I was improving here and there, like general music things. I definitely got better at mixing, mastering, and like all the music theory stuff. Maybe there was some overlap between some of the genres, but truth be told, I was still constantly going back to square one, over and over again. What the fuck? This is what my efforts looked like. I was going in every single direction, but not really getting far in any. Now, I want you to imagine, what do you think would happen if my efforts looked more like this? Imagine I chose a single genre from day one and focused all of my energy on becoming exceptional at it. Imagine from that point I kept developing my brand and sound around it and stuck to that for 7 years straight. What do you think would happen? Like, how would I develop? I would be a fucking millionaire by now. Please, learn from my mistake. To be honest, I'm still figuring out what I want my new artist brand and sound to be. Like, I'm not quite sure where I want to take it in the future, and I'm only now realizing how important it is to define that identity. So, if you don't want to waste years like I did, take some time to think about this. Maybe even grab a pen and paper and journal about it. Make a mind map or a mood board of what you want your music to be. You can do anything, but not everything. That's it for today. Cheers.